Welcome to Catherine's tutorial. In this video, we'll learn about chemistry of nucleic acid, that is DNA. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA. That is represented as DNA. Why it is known as genetic material? Because it carries the genetic information or it stores genetic information. It also carries information from one generation to the next generation. That is what is a function of DNA. Now we'll just move on to the chemistry of nucleic acid, that is the structure of DNA. The structure of DNA was first proposed by, in 1953, the double helical structure of DNA was given by Watson and Crick. Watson and Crick, they only proposed the double helical structure of DNA. What is this double helical structure consist of? And we'll just go over that. I just give you a rough idea. The DNA is known as a polymer, or it is also known as a biopolymer. The meaning of poly is many. So the DNA is made up of nucleotides. When these nucleotides are added, continuously, they form a complete chain, and this chain will form the DNA. So this one nucleotide is known as monomer. So number of monomers, mono means single nucleotide combined with many nucleotides, they form a chain of structure that is known as a polymer. What is the meaning of bio? Bio represents they are synthesized inside the living organism. That is why DNA is known as biopolymer. What is this nucleotide consist of? It is said to be the basic unit of DNA. So what are the structures are present in nucleotides? We'll just go with what is nucleotide now. What does a nucleotide consist of? It consists of a pentose sugar. It consists of a nitrogenous base, and it consists of a phosphate group. So I'll write here, this is a molecular structure of DNA or molecular structure of one nucleotide. It is sugar, that is nothing but pentose sugar. It is nitrogenous base, and this is the phosphate group. All these three combine together and they form a single nucleotide. Now we'll just see one by one what are these structures and how they form the DNA molecule. A nucleotide consists of sugar, a phosphate group plus a nitrogenous base. When two nucleotides are added, when two nucleotides are together, they are known as dinucleotide. When it is 3 nucleotides, they are known as trinucleotides. When it is 20, they are known as oligonucleotides. If it is more than 20, then they are known as polynucleotide. So that is why the DNA is known as a polynucleotide chain. So it is made up of more than 20 nucleotides. If the nucleotides are more than 20 and they get added up and they form a complete chain known as polynucleotide chain. The DNA is also known as a polynucleotide chain. Now we'll just start with the sugar component. That is the first component in case of nucleotide. So when you take sugar, the type of sugar which is present in DNA is known as pentose. Why it is known as pentose? Pent means 5. It contains 5 carbon atom. We'll just draw the diagram of pentose sugar. This is pentose sugar. You can able to find carbon number 1 here, carbon number 2, carbon number 3, carbon number 4 and one carbon is outside the ring. Okay, that forms the fifth carbon. There will be one oxygen atom in the center and they are connected with hydroxyl group and also hydrogen. And here in second position you can able to find only hydrogen atom in case of DNA, and here it is again hydrogen. Here you can able to find hydroxyl group, here again hydroxyl group, hydrogen. The last, this carbon ring consists of hydroxyl group and also hydrogen. Okay, this is what is the structure of pentose sugar in case of DNA. When you compare this pentose sugar structure or pentose sugar with RNA, there are, I told you already the DNA is a pentose sugar. There are two types of pentoses. One is ribose, another one is deoxyribose. DNA contains deoxyribose and RNA has ribose sugar. And both ribose and deoxyribose are 5 carbon sugar only, but there is a slight differences between these two. Okay, when you draw a structure of RNA, pentose sugar, you can able to find a difference. Again it is, this is RNA, this is DNA, pentose sugar which is present in DNA. C1, C2, C3, C4, again one is outside the ring, one oxygen atom, and here they are connected with hydroxyl group and hydrogen, and here again one more hydrogen, and here is hydroxyl group, here again hydroxyl group and hydrogen. This is a structure of RNA, that is ribose sugar which is present in RNA. But here only you can able to find a difference in the carbon number 2 position in case of both RNA and DNA. You can able to find a difference here. It is only one H is present, that is hydrogen atom, and here it is along with oxygen, so it forms the hydroxyl group. So when you compare the oxygen atom in case of RNA and DNA, DNA has less oxygen atom when compared to the RNA. So this less oxygen atom, that is removal of this oxygen, is known as deoxy. That is why the sugar is known as deoxyribose sugar, where there is a removal of oxygen atom and they form an hydrogen atom. So this particular structure only gives the stability to the DNA, so where it can able to store information. But this RNA is readily reactive and they can able to undergo mutation very fast in compared to DNA. So this is a major difference between sugar that is present in DNA and RNA. Here you can able to find one hydroxyl group in case of second carbon atom, but here you can able, in case of DNA you can able to find hydrogen group in case of second carbon atom, but here you can able to find one hydroxyl group is attached here. So one oxygen atom is higher when compared to the DNA. So this structure only gives them the stability to store genetic information in most of the living organism. We'll go with the next structure, that is nothing but phosphate. So you can able to find 4 oxygen atoms which are negatively charged attached to this phosphate group, and these are highly oxidized oxygen atom, and these phosphate group with the adjacent nucleotide they can able to form phosphodiester bonds that form the complete structure of DNA. When we learn about the complete structure of DNA, we learn about what is phosphodiester bonds, and this gives them the character of acid to the DNA, and it also provides them the negative charge. This negative charge only will help the hold this 2.2 meter of DNA inside the nucleus along with the histone proteins. Now we'll move on to the nitrogenous group. This nitrogenous group or nitrogenous bases are of 2 types. The nitrogenous bases are of 2 types. One is purines, another one is pyrimidines. The purines are adenine and guanine, and pyrimidines are thymine, cytosine and uracil. So the pyrimidines are 3 in number and purines are 2 in number. The purines are 2-ringed structures and pyrimidines have single-ring structures. Single-ringed structures, and you can able to find the structure of purines. Okay, I'll just draw the structure of purines here. Able to number from this side 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In this way, the direction of arrangement. In the direction of arrangement in this way in case of purines. Okay, when we go with the pyrimidines, these are numbered in this way 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So the arrangement goes in this way. Okay, so these are double ring structures and these are single ring structures. They contain 9 members of nitrogen and here it is only 6. We all know the DNA is a double helical structure. Okay, so the helixes you can able to find in this way, where you can able to find double like hydrogen bonds with the nitrogenous bases in the center. This black color structure is made up of sugar, that is pentose sugar and phosphate. And the center rings, okay, this central region is made up of nitrogenous bases. These nitrogenous bases will help in holding the strands in a proper way, or another way they provide them stability to the DNA molecular structure. Now we'll move on to the DNA molecular structure. Now we'll just see the one strand of DNA and how it is formed. I'm just drawing one strand of DNA here. So where we learned already one nucleotide. Okay, one nucleotide consists of a pentose sugar and a nitrogenous base and one phosphate group. As we all know, this is single nucleotide. When many nucleotides are added together and they form the complete chain of DNA. We'll draw the next nucleotides, adjacent nucleotide here. So adjacent nucleotides. So where we have a phosphate group, and on the other side you can able to find a nitrogenous base. So this is how the nucleotides are arranged. Okay, but these nucleotides should be connected together to make a complete DNA strand or one strand of DNA. So what happens here? We already know this is the position of carbon atom in case of pentose sugar. This is carbon number 1, this is 2, 3, 4 and this is 5th. Okay, so I'm just numbering in all the nucleotides so that it will be visible or you can able to understand. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and this is 5th one. Again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th one. The nucleotide of one pentose sugar or one nucleotide, the phosphate group of one nucleotide is attached with the third carbon atom of the adjacent nucleotide. Again here it is attached to the third carbon atom. From the 5th carbon atom to the third one. So from here to 5th, 5, then third again. So here again to the third. Okay, this is how the phosphodiester bonds. These bonds are known as phosphodiester bonds. These bonds are present between the nucleotides. Okay, so to connect them together. So one nucleotide of the 5th carbon of one nucleotide which contains a phosphate group is attached with the adjacent nucleotide on the third carbon atom. So when you write the structure, the polarity is very important. So what is meant by polarity? If one strand, okay, here we'll go with the example. If one strand starts with the 5' end, the other strand should go with the 3rd'. Again here it is, the strand will just end with third prime, the other strand should end in 5 prime. So the polarity of the strands are just opposite to each other, so it is said to be anti-parallel. So when you write the polarity of this particular nucleotide sequences, we can able to find the 5 phosphate group is here. So we write the 5 dash end, our fifth carbon end we write as 5 dash n. So here it is 3 dash n, and one more important thing, nucleotides can be arranged upward and they can also be added up in the lower side also. So to explain you, I am drawing one more nucleotide. Again it is one nitrogenous base where it has phosphate group. This phosphate group is attached with the third carbon atom of this adjacent nucleotide. This is the fifth carbon position. Again it is third carbon. So in this strand, the third end is here. So it is written based on whether the strand ends up in 3 dash n or it is in 5 dash n. This complete structure will form this single strand on one side. We'll draw the other side. We already know it should be an anti-parallel to this particular strand. So we'll draw the nucleotides here. Should be anti-parallel, so that I am just drawing the nucleotide, that is sugar molecule, upside down. So where you can able to find difference, how this 5 prime and 3 prime we can able to mark. Okay, so this one is attached with the nitrogenous bases on one side. So this is nitrogenous bases. This is a nitrogenous base. On the other side, you can able to find the phosphodiester bond, which is on the fifth carbon position. We can able to find phosphate group on the fifth carbon position. So I am drawing the phosphate groups here. As we all know, how the adjacent nucleotides are connected, the fifth prime, okay, that is the fifth carbon phosphate group is attached to the third carbon atom or third carbon region of the other or adjacent nucleotide. So this is the third carbon. So when we write the number, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is fifth one. So the fifth carbon atom is attached with the adjacent nucleotide on the third carbon end. Okay, so we have formed the next strand. So I'll just draw the strand here. And as we all know, here the third end is free, so it starts with it goes with 3 prime end, and here it is ending in fifth carbon atom. So I'm writing as 5 prime with the phosphate functional group. So this is how the polarity of these strands has been marked as 5 to 3 dash direction or 3 to 5 dash direction. Okay, now we will just write the nucleotides here. Now we'll just write the nitrogenous bases here. So what are the nitrogenous bases? As you all know, purines and pyrimidines. Okay, so I'm just drawing it here, the purines and pyrimidines, the exact structure. Only one strand I'll just show you. So here it is attached with we numbered already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are nothing but what are they? They are pyrimidines. Okay, so pyrimidines on the one nitrogen atom or first position, they are attached with the pentose sugar, and here they are attached with their 9th position. Okay, so this is how the adenine and purine, that is purines and pyrimidines are attached together. So if it is double ring structure, as we all know, it is adenine. A single ring structures are thymine. So adenine always pairs with thymine, where you can able to find 2 hydrogen bond. Okay, there is something known as base pairing. Okay, this base pairing was given by Erwin Chergaff. According to Erwin Chergaff, the amount of adenine is always equal to amount of thymine. So adenine always pairs with thymine. So even if they pair also, the amount of adenine is always equal to the amount of thymine, or the amount of guanine is always equal to the amount of cytosine. Okay, this is how the pairing will occur in case of DNA. But the pairing in case of RNA, this is DNA. In case of DNA, in case of RNA, instead of thymine, the RNA has uracil. So uracil is unique for RNA and thymine is unique for DNA. So in RNA, the thymine is replaced by uracil. Adenine always pairs with uracil in case of RNA, and guanine pairs with cytosine by means of triple hydrogen bonds. These bonds are known as hydrogen bonds. You can able to find only 2 hydrogen bonds between adenine and thymine. Between guanine and cytosine, you can able to find 3 hydrogen bonds. Okay, so these nitrogenous bases along with the hydrogen bonds only, they give the stability to the polymerase chain or DNA polynucleotide structure. Okay, we'll just draw here. Guanine pairs with cytosine, again adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine, adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine. So between guanine and cytosine, you can able to find triple hydrogen bond. Between A and T, you can able to find double hydrogen bonds. So here again 3, here it is again 2, here it is 2 again, it is A, and here again it is 3. So these are hydrogen bonds. This gives up the stability to the double stranded structure. As we all know, till this structure it is representing the strand, and the central structure, this particular structure will represent the strands of DNA that we draw in center. Okay, these strands are nothing but they are nitrogenous bases along with the hydrogen bond, they form the strand. Okay, and one more term, an important term that you have to know about, and we already know that DNA is made up of nucleotides. Nucleotides are nothing but it is a combination of sugar plus phosphate plus nitrogenous base. So this component together, they are known as nucleotide. Then what is the meaning of nucleoside? Nucleoside is nothing but, what is nucleoside? Nucleosides are nothing but it is with sugar, that is pentose sugar in case of DNA, and it is attached with the nitrogenous bases. When sugar and nitrogenous bases are alone, when these 2 components are only present, it is known as nucleoside. When they add phosphate group, that is a functional group along with the structure, it turns into a nucleotide. So it is a difference between nucleotides and nucleoside. Sugar and nitrogenous bases together and they form nucleoside, and sugar phosphate group, that is a functional group of DNA, along with nitrogenous bases, they form the nucleotides. And even to write polarity, we write like to which end they are attached with. Phosphate group is here, we write with 5 prime, and if ends up in 3 carbonate, we write as 3. The other strand should be always opposite, it should be anti-parallel, where it starts with 3 prime and ends in 5 prime, and this is a molecular structure of DNA, double stranded structure. This is how the nucleotides are arranged one above the other, and they combine together and they form a polynucleotide structure. By the next video, we will learn about the next topic in molecular genetics. Thank you.